It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
Now, we want to do something fun, and we want to go through and let team members share some of the tightwad things they've done or embarrassing ways. That's probably since we've gotten away from the tightwad concept. What's some embarrassing ways that they have actually saved money?
And remember, because you have two options out there. You can either make more or spend less. And so I think what's beautiful is when we polled some of these were ways to make more money and some of them were ways to spend less money. But I think the beautiful thing is really about mindset.
Well, and that's because here's the thing I have realized doing this. We I've been managing money for over, I'm in my third decade of doing it, 20 plus years. And I've hired quite a few financial advisors too. And one of the things, this is not said lightly. Every one of our primary advisors, if something happened to me, I would be okay with my wife talking to them. Because
100%.
These guys, and you're going to see it in some of these tips, you're cut a certain way. You are wired. Even though I knew nothing about investing, there's a reason. This $7 date night was not by accident. I mean, this brain was already trying to figure out how you maximize resources. Yep. You're going to see our team is just as good. And that's why you guys should feel very comfortable. Anybody you talk to from Abound Wealth or Money Guy, these guys, we recognize they cut from the same cloth, and it's good for you.
That's exactly right. So I'll kick this thing off because I noticed that I'm the first one up there. Now, if you're out there listening on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, we got some visuals. And if you want to see pictures of our team members, because we're actually going to have a picture of every team member we're talking about up here, go out to YouTube and check it out so you can see. The picture I'm bringing up right now, interestingly enough, this is actually me and my wife on our very first date. Why her mother was taking pictures of us, her mother, because we were really young back then, was taking pictures of us on our first date, I have no idea. But here's one of the things that I did early on, because it's about spending more or saving less. When we first got married, I refused to turn on the heat in wintertime till about February the 15th. So every night before we go to bed, I would ask my wife, hey, you cold? She'd say, yes, my teeth are chattering. I said, great. Put on a hoodie, put on socks, put on sweatpants, let's go to bed. And you
So
think
romantic.
about all that electricity I saved, all that gas I saved, Roth just kept cooking.
I imagine this is the time you quit eating cereal, though.
Yeah,
you probably were trying to make up the money you had quit spending on cereal and were buying real substance and food.
That's exactly
you
right.
You had to make it up by cutting the temperature of the house. So we picked on you first. I think it's only fair. And this was, by the way, they asked me for a picture. And this led to, if y'all think these rabbit trails that I take you guys on with the tangents, all you trolls, I do it to everybody here. If you worked here, I'm this same person in real life too. This turned this exercise of giving them a picture into a 45-minute walk down memory lane through my senior year yearbook.
I love it.
So here's what I showed them. I had a picture. Now this is actually my buddy's car because his car was much cooler than mine. And Carmagia. This is the guy right to my right. Is my buddy Justin. He had a Carmagia in high school, really cool car. It looked fast, but had a hard time getting over 35. But it looked really cool because people don't know a Carmagia is a Volkswagen. And I don't know if you can see it because maybe when Review puts on the full screen, I've got a rocking chain there.
Oh,
rocking
are you actually
gold
wearing
chain.
A gold chain?
And that might even be, I don't know if, because I was known to wear some mad turtlenecks back in high school too. But here's what I did. I was so poor and had a really raggedy Cavalier that was affectionately known as the Ragalier because the color was kind of rust. But I had rims, I had a little boom, but the boom was kind of fake. Because here's what I did. I went to JCPenney's outlet, bought a radio, cut the tag off of a speaker grill for Kenwood, and super glued it on the JCPenney's radio.
So it looked like it was a Kenwood radio.
It wasn't until I was actually graduated from college that I confessed this to all my buddies here. And because I still talk to these guys, going down to spring training to watch some baseball in just a few months with a lot of these guys. And they still joke about the fact that I was such a tightwad that I was completely fibbing to everybody by having a JCPenney's radio with a Kenwood sticker on it.
That's well, that's really just remarkable.
That's ambitious.
That's ambitious. I love it. For those of you who are asking, I can vouch. His Tesla is an actual Tesla. It's not just a decal. I've ridden in it. I've seen it. It's an actual Tesla. All right. So we'll talk about one of our other team members. Our next team member, this is Carol. And Carol actually shared a wonderful story.
This one is actually good. Like ours were entertaining or funny. Carol's is actually a teachable moment.
So this is what she said. She said, Russ, her husband, Took his lunch to work for years. He still does to this day. He would get a cup of water, sweet tea from the cafeteria to go with it. He kept all the plastic lids from his daily drink in a large stack and brought them home one day to show the kids. And what he'd tell the kids is, each one of these lids represents saving about $5 on lunch every day, and that sure adds up over time.
So I thought that was a great teachable concept, is that when he was taking his lunch, because we've all been there. I mean, where we're eating lunch at work and doing things, not going out there and spending the $5 to $7 eating out. He actually created a tangible way to track how much he was saving.
Love it.
Really
so
powerful
much.
Stuff.
This next one, this is actually from producer Reby, and this is what she said. She said, I once tagged along on my sister and brother-in-law's date night. And you would think like, we went to the movies or out to dinner. No. For their date night, they went to Sam's Club and just did a free sample run.
Somehow Reby had a picture of this. This is why you knew you were predestined to be in media, is you actually had a picture from that night. Now, you said you're in high school in this picture? College. And is that a bangs type thing?
Yeah, the bang.
You're like my wife. Whenever she sees a picture with bangs, she's like, what was I thinking? But it's actually, I think it's great. How many of us go to Costco or Sam's just to eat the samples?
I do.
Or let's face it, guys. Costco has some steak like hot dogs. I mean, if you're going to have a steak of hot dogs,
it's the fillet of hot dogs.
Fillet of hot dogs. You can get a hot dog and a Coke for like $1.88. I mean, that's living right there. My wife gets so mad when I take the family there after church.
So
keep going.
What I love about these is all these have been ways to spend less. We actually have one of our team members though. He said, you know what, I'm going to do it a step, but I'm not just going to focus on spending less. I'm going to figure out a way to go out there and make more. And so this is from Matt Hoffner. He works with a number of you guys out there. He's one of our primary advisors here at the firm. And this is what Matt had to say. He said, Matt's Munchies was my concession business. I would buy stuff in bulk at Costco with my mom and sell snacks and sodas from the back of their van at the end of the driveway to people walking or driving down the street. However, the big bucks were made when I got permission to sell at people's yard sales. Profits were maximized due to low labor costs. I paid my sister 10 cents per hour to help for a long time until my parents found out.
By the way, Matt also, here's what I think is good. The business really was called Matthew's Munchies. But the other part is most people don't realize Matt paid for a lot of college. He made really good money running a retail arbitrage situation before that was even a known kind of concept that people were doing, by buying people's used college textbooks and then selling them out there on eBay and other sites. So good for Matt. Like I said, everybody here who's a primary advisor, if I died tomorrow, my wife would be in great hands because these people really do walk the walk. Yep. And that's so important for everybody we have on the team.
So the two signs we've covered so far are you're following the financial order of operations. Number two, you're saving 20 to 25%. But remember, this is three signs you know you can start spending. And the third one is kind of a big one and kind of an exciting one.
Yeah, number three is your army of dollar bills is actually working harder than you do with your back, your hands, and your brain. And this is one of the powerful things. And this is why it's so super important. You've got to be tracking your annual net worth statement. You guys know that every year we're telling you track your net worth statement so you can see how much are your assets worth. And then you can also see the change in their value. And there's going to come a year, if you're tracking your annual net worth statement, that you'll see the increase in your net worth will exceed what you made with your income. And you're like, whoa, how did that happen? And what happened was your army of dollar bills actually got to a level of critical mass that it is now earning more than you did through capital appreciation, through interest, through dividends. This is the first indicator you're probably at financial independence.
Yeah, and what I think is beautiful is we kind of see this normally happen in sort of two phases. The first phase is your portfolio actually makes more than you can save, right? Yeah. So when you look at how much you save the portfolio, when your portfolio is working harder than you are saving, that's exciting. And then the iteration you're talking about is when your portfolio actually makes more in total than your entire annual income. That just gets super, super, super exciting.
Well, you know, the big transition point, we talk about this invisible hand that's working for you. The big point when your money is actually making more than you can make, you really are at the point that work becomes optional.
That's exactly right.
You are only working because it gives you purpose and happiness, not because you need to. And there is a completely different concept or way your mind works when you know that you're doing this for purpose and fulfillment more than just paying the bills. So that's a huge thing. Focus on, what is my army of dollar bills doing? Do I have measurable metrics? That's why you've got to be doing the net worth statement and put this plan into action.